Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. We are back in my garage staring at my car, but not for a good reason today. So in the last video I kind of referenced it, but the car is messed up at the moment. So let me get into this whole backstory. So I was driving one day and I put it into sport mode, and then I floored it and it felt like the car was pulling power. And so it wasn't showing a check engine code or nothing like that. So what I did was I pulled up my Beamer code thing. It's like doing a quick diagnostic or something like that. Like, it was just seeing if the car's throwing the code without throwing a check engine light code. So I looked and the car was throwing up this code right here. So you can see it says something about coolant, which was weird because I just did the oil change not too long ago, probably like a month and a half ago, and I refilled my coolant. So I checked and we have two coolant tanks on the car. So this one, the big one, was full, and then I checked the smaller one right here and it was completely empty, which is weird because I just refilled it. So then I topped it off, and then the next morning I checked again and it was empty. So I hit up some of my guys that work at the shop. I was like, hey, what could it be? One of my guys told me to go do a pressure test. So I went and got the pressure test done, and they said my radiator was leaking. So I was a little confused because on these cars, the bigger tank here is for the radiator. The smaller tank here is directly linked to my heat exchanger, which is right in front of the radiator. So I did my research and come to find out it was the front heat exchanger. And I didn't see a leak at first. In my last video, I ended up going to our event that we hosted, and on the way home, I was checking my coolant temps, and my coolant temps was going crazy hot. And then I got home, and as you can see, the car is leaking now, like fully leaking. Like at first it was not this bad. So I just filled up my coolant and made it to the event, but on the way back, as you can see, the car is like fully leaking. And so what happened was something ended up hitting my heat exchanger. As you can see, there's a big ass dent right there in my heat exchanger, and now the car is leaking coolant. I haven't been able to drive, which is very, very depressing for me because I love driving my car. But I ended up ordering a new front heat exchanger, which will be here either tomorrow or the next day. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm taking out the heat exchanger. That way when the part finally gets here, I just put it straight in and then bleed the cooling system and all that, so I can be driving like as soon as possible because I miss driving my car already. I'm not gonna go into full detail on how to take it out. If you wanna see a more detailed video on how to take out the front heat exchanger, I'll leave a link to my guy Kern417. He's like a B58 god or whatever. Like, he does a lot of videos on these specific engines, so I'll leave a link to his video right here. And you can go check out the full step-by-step explanation of how to take out the front heat exchanger. But I will just kind of like skim through it and show y'all like what I'm doing and just a little showing progress of me taking it out. So yeah, let me jack the car up and I'm gonna get started on taking out the front heat exchanger. So far, we got the hard part out the way. So I got the fan out, my intake is out. This support brace is out that was right here over the radiator, and all these little bolts, I just took them out. I was trying to get the rest of this intake out, but whoever was working on this before me, the bolt right there is facing inside instead of outside, so I couldn't get it out. So I was kind of struggling trying to work around it. But since we got all that out the way, this is the main radiator here, and then this is the heat exchanger. Before I take out the heat exchanger, I do need to drain out the coolant. So I got my bucket underneath, and then there's some hoses down here I need to unclip to get it drained out. Once I get it drained out, then I'll pull the heat exchanger out. Okay, so I finally got the clamp off after struggling for a long time. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. You can see the clamp is off, and it was supposed to be leaking a bunch of coolant. You can see it's a little bit down there in the bucket, but nothing else is coming out. So that's just a sign like my coolant was leaking really, really bad. But I don't know if I showed y'all good enough. The thing that hit my front radiator, I don't know what that is, but it's bent really bad. So once I get it out, I'm gonna see if it hit the back one too, cause it looked like it went pretty far. But I'm not leaking from the other radiator. I'm gonna replace it anyways, but that's kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we have the front radiator all the way out. Here it is right here. As you can see, it was bent up really bad. I got it right here draining out. It was leaking somewhere right here along the bottom. I can't really tell where, but we have it out, and that's all that matters. So I don't have the new radiator yet. It should be here tomorrow morning. So I made a little mess. I'm about to clean this up, but I will see you guys once the new radiator comes in. All right, y'all, so the new front heat exchanger is here. Let me get this unboxed real quick so I can show y'all what it looks like. So this is the new front heat exchanger. It's slightly thicker than the other one. Like the other one was kind of like thin, like right there. This one is thicker, and it's black instead of silver. The black look real sleek and clean, but this is the upgraded one. It's not the CSF upgraded one, but it is a more upgraded one than OEM. So I should have less heat soak with this as well. But yeah, let me go and get this put on and put everything back together, and then after that I'll have to bleed the system. Okay, all right, we got everything all back together except for like the covers and all that stuff, but the hose down there is clipped in. This hose right here, right there, the black one, that one is clipped in. That one on the right kind of gave me a little trouble because whoever made it a little too big, so I had to like kind of trim it down. So it took me like 30 minutes to get it like trimmed down so it could fit, so the hose could fit on there. But it is what it is. We got it all the way back on. All right, so now all I gotta do is just all the like the coverings and my intake and fan and radiator. And fan and intake, all that stuff. Now it's just time to put that all together. We got everything back together, as you can see. I already started putting some coolant in there. I spilled it a little bit, but the coolant is holding at the bottom, unlike before. You can't really see it. Damn. And coolant is holding. And then as you can see, there's no leaks underneath, so that's a good sign. So now what I'm about to do is bleed the system. Just like I did earlier with doing the replacement, I will leave a link to Kern with his bleeding process. He goes into more detail on how to do it. But that's what I'm about to do now. If everything is looking good, this should be the end of the video. All right, y'all, so everything's looking good. The car's running fine, no codes, no nothing, no leaking, which is a very good sign. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I definitely appreciate it. Sub to the channel if you're not subbed already. I appreciate you guys for watching. Peace out. See y'all in the next one.